It started on a Tuesday, because of course it did. Tuesdays were the kind of day when everything felt slightly cursed, even before anything supernatural happened. Grant Mallory, 33, exhausted accounting office drone, an enthusiast of exactly zero exciting hobbies, found himself waiting at a downtown bus stop under a flickering street lamp that buzzed like a deranged wasp. The bus was late, the clouds were threatening rain, and someone had left a weird black-covered book on the bench beside him. No title, no author name, not even a symbol. Just matte black from edge to edge, like someone had taken the concept of goth and pressed it flat into a rectangle. Grant eyed it the way someone might eye a free cupcake sitting in a mousetrap. But boredom was a powerful force, and curiosity was a parasite that lived rent-free in his skull. He picked the book up, turning it over. It was cold. Not I left this outside cold, more like stored in the shadow dimension freezer cold. The moment his fingers brushed the surface, a faint pulse went through him, like he'd just touched the static end of a balloon charged by a mischievous toddler. And then the book shivered. Books are not supposed to shiver. Grant blinked. No. He set it back down. The book tilted itself upright like a dog perking its ears. Nope, he said louder. The book flipped open. Pages fluttered without any wind. Strange dark glyphs leaped off the paper like ink, deciding it no longer wanted to follow the rules of physics, and then zipped straight into Grant's chest. He gasped as a cold rush spread through him, simultaneously tingling, numbing, and weirdly pleasant in the kind of way you don't want happening in public. He felt something lift his hair, his clothes, his very skin, like unseen hands were checking the before photos to prepare for an intense after. The street lamp above him flickered twice once, then went out completely. A whisper coiled around his ear. Pretty. Grant stiffened. Who said that? Another whisper sliding down his spine. Not yet. But soon. He jumped to his feet. Nope. Hard nope. I am not doing this today. But the transformation had begun. He felt a prickling sensation at the roots of his hair. The original sandy brown strands fell in front of his eyes, only for the tips to start turning pitch black, spreading upward like someone poured ink over each strand. His scalp tingled as his hair lengthened, swooping down to brush his neck, then his shoulders, then further, gleaming with an unnaturally glossy darkness. He grabbed at the strands. Why is it silky? The whispers chuckled. He slapped his hands over his ears. Stop giggling. It sounds like a paranormal dating sim is happening inside my skull. But the whispers only swirled deeper, suggesting things that made him go red in the face, even though nothing explicit actually happened. Grant sprinted toward the bus that finally arrived, only to realize something was now very wrong with the rest of him as well. His shirt felt looser in some places, tighter in others. His balance shifted unexpectedly, hips clicking with a curve that absolutely had not been there 5 minutes ago. His voice cracked when he muttered, "This is not happening," sounding far higher than normal. People on the sidewalk slowed to stare. Not because they knew what was happening, because the transformation gave off a shimmering, smoky magical aura for a moment. Grant ducked into an alley behind a laundromat. Okay, he whispered to himself, gripping a dumpster for balance. Deep breaths, I can reverse this. I just need to. His reflection flickered in the shiny metal side of the dumpster. He barely recognized himself. A pale, sharp-jawed beauty with long black gothic hair cascading around her face. Eyes lined by dark lashes as if applied by magic. Probably because they were. Lips darkened to shade as though tinted ink had seeped through. His body was halfway between shapes, the liminal zone between man and woman, but sliding rapidly toward the latter. I look like I've been kidnapped by Hot Topic. The whispers crooned. You look charming. Stop flirting with me. You're a book. A book that hurt him. A book that suddenly slid across the alley ground as if dragged by invisible hands. The grimoire bumped against his foot like a needy cat demanding attention. He screamed and kicked it. The book sailed into the air, then stopped mid-fall, calmly turned 90 degrees like a bored drone, and landed precisely at his toes again. Oh, come on. The book flipped itself open. A burst of shadowy smoke enveloped him, and for a few seconds, Grant felt everything shift definitively, curves blooming, height adjusting, voice smoothing into something sultry without permission. When the smoke cleared, he was fully, unmistakably, undeniably a black-haired goth girl. Black lipstick, black nails, black choker magic had accessorized him like a stylist with no self-control. He staggered. I look like I'm about to judge everyone's playlist. The grimoire's pages fluttered coyly. Grant now, undeniably, she, in every physical sense, grabbed the book. Fine. If getting rid of you is what it takes to undo this, then so be it. She marched down the alley, determined. First attempt. She hurled the book into a construction site dumpster full of heavy debris. The lid slammed shut. Satisfying. She turned around. The book was waiting at her feet. She hissed, "How?" Second attempt. She ran to the river and chucked it with all her might. It hit the water, sank instantly, and dropped onto the ground behind her with a little plop, perfectly dry. No, absolutely not. Third attempt, microwaving it. She stole into the office building kitchen after hours, shoved the book inside the microwave, and hit start. Flames erupted from inside bright purple, swirling, ominous. She dove for cover. When the smoke cleared, the microwave was a smoking ruin. The book sat atop the wreckage, pristine, like it had enjoyed a spa session. She groaned loudly enough to rattle the windows. Why can't you just be destroyable like a normal cursed object? The grimoire flipped open to a blank page on its own. Words slowly formed, as if written by invisible goth teenager handwriting. Not done, next soon. Her jaw dropped. What there is no next? I am already. Why is there a next? The letters rearranged playfully. Not you, next. She froze. The book wasn't finished because she wasn't the last. It would move on. It wanted its next victim. She reached for it only for the grimoire to dissolve into smoky ribbons that zipped upward, spiraling into the streetlights and vanishing like a shadow caught in the wind. Grant, now permanently a black-haired goth girl whose reflection looked like forbiddance. Album art stood alone on the sidewalk, hair drifting in the breeze. A distant whisper echoed faintly, "Pretty." Then silence. Somewhere, the grimoire was already preparing to reappear for its next unsuspecting man.